Hello everyone. I'm going to start this video off with the thing oh, don't you sigh already. Don't you sigh already, you good boy. Yeah, I'm going to start this video off with what everyone on Book Talk loves. A prologue. Yeah. So, hello, my name is David, and to make a long story short, I am an aspiring author. And I have come to the conclusion, based on the outline of my book, that my project is going to be wildly unmarketable. So, to give myself a little bit of a heads up, a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a chance, I have to boost up my social media numbers. I don't have social media yet, but I can start building a following doing weekly videos on YouTube about stuff. And jump cuts for when I ramble too much because I'm a writer and writers like to ramble. So let's get to the actual point. So I just got back from seeing the Odyssey, and yes, it's a good movie. It's shot well, done well, and oh, are you coming here too? Hi, this is Boo. This is Boo. Thank you, Boo. My shot. And she is no longer licking the plastic, thus ruining the audio. So when it comes to making a story, there are different types of stories you can make. More broadly speaking, you can go into different theories of what type of stories there are and what the purpose of a story is. For example, all of Shakespeare's plays are 5-act plays. Go further back, you have the very simple, a story must have a beginning, middle, and end. You go to modern story writing, if you're doing television, if it's a 30-minute show, it might be a 7-act structure. If you do an hour show, it might be a 9-act structure. The two most common types of structures you're going to see in the world are mythic structure and Save the Cat. And there's two distinct differences between those. There's a very key difference of what is the point. In Save the Cat, a key thing is the message, the point. What are you trying to prove or disprove? What are you trying to say? What's the message? Whereas in mythic structure, you don't have that. Mythic structure is, your hero leaves, goes to a new place, becomes, faces trials and tribulations, becomes master of two worlds, returns home. It's the Greek myth. And the Odyssey is a Greek myth. Now, Save the Cat then tries to go and say that every single Greek myth is under the umbrella term of a golden fleece, one of the 10 types of stories. It tries to say that all of mythic structure is inside Save the Cat. But it's really not, okay? That is the background understanding of this. However, Save the Cat is the unwritten rules of Hollywood that have been around since, 60s, 70s, that sort of stuff. And go back to think of like any movie you've seen, chances are there's a point, There's like, if you were to say Legally Blonde, the point is, no, she's not actually stupid. The Valley Girl thing is, that's just a stereotype. You go just watch The Dark Knight. They go on and on about Batman's no-kill rule, and what does it mean to kill someone, and what does it mean to be vengeance versus protection, so on and so forth. Movies like to make points. And I walked out of the Odyssey going, that movie tried to make a point to me. It flat out does. And I look at it and I go, what was the point? You're a mythic structure movie, but you've tried to shoehorn in a point. So the latest version of the Odyssey, more so than any other previous adaptation, does a lot to try and cut back and forth between Odysseus's journey and the suitors. It makes a really big effort to explain that the suitors' misuse of the hospitality, overstaying their welcome, destroying what they have, I guess the place that has invited them into their home, that they are abusing that power to make them a more central antagonist to the story instead of just the final chapter of a story, and also to drive in a point of Odysseus and the Greeks in general abusing Trojan with the Trojan horse, Troy with the Trojan horse. The Trojan hospitality. It's making a parallel between the war and the hospitality and trying to put those on equal footing. And the movie flat out ends with Odysseus all but looking at the camera and saying, while a flashback is happening of the Trojan horse and Troy burning and whatnot, that, our society is dying. Because they're also tying in this story to the Bronze Age collapse and the Sea People. Which also the movie tries to go and say that they are the Sea People, that their lack of hospitality started the age of the Sea People because the rules no longer matter. And Odysseus is looking at the camera going, and one day, the people of the future, of the next civilization, when civilization gets rebuilt, those people too will one day forget the lessons of Troy, and they too will be bad house guests, and they too will have a fall and a collapse. The movie is all but trying to just scream in your face, this is the message, this is the message. And I recognize that there was a message being thrown at me. I recognize that there is a point that you want me to understand. I understand that far. But the point has gone, maybe not over my head, but it's gone around to the side and in a 30-50 kind of way, where I see that there's an outline of an idea there, but it's fuzzy, And this is just where my thought process is. Is this meant to be a specific inciting incident? Are we specifically talking about, it's probably be too recent to have been, this is specifically about, Iran. Okay, but is it about Israel? Ukraine? Is there a specific inciting incident that you're going, yep, this is where modern civilization, this is the point where modern civilization has abused its hospitality? I mean, is this movie even necessarily about the fall of the Western world or the American hegemony, however that word is pronounced? Because I hate to break it to you, but we haven't been allowing British soldiers in our house since, 1776. Is this just a general everything? Because a general everything is very unfocused. I see that there is a point, but after 3.5 hours of a movie, the point that you're making is fuzzy. But it's the final note the movie ends off on. It's the final note of the movie. So they want you to leave that movie going, that was the point. And if you're going to leave a movie off with, that was the point, that made me think, I feel like that point should be so in your face there's no way anyone could miss it. So thank you very much. I'm sorry if this is a bit scatterbrained, the thoughts. Hopefully I will get better at this as time goes on. I know it is a matter of consistency and quantity that matters most for this, numbers game, not necessarily quality, but I don't want the quality to also be absolute garbage. I, I would like to, get better at this as time goes on. It's been a while since I've been on the YouTube game. But, yeah, if you like the content, please, stay subscribed or subscribe, and I will eventually have links to social media, so on and so forth, and please subscribe to those whenever I do that. So yeah, but hopefully we can do this once a week. Just take 15 minutes out of your day and just go on this journey with me. And once I start getting chapters written and polished up and edited and all that sort of lovely stuff, I'll start throwing up chapters in here and start, teasing my book and just having that go as well, and we can take our journey together. And hopefully, I will have a nice, lovely, quality, professional product for you at the end of this. Thank you. I don't really know how to end this.